My mom caught my dad with a 16-year-old and covered it up. I will be referring to her as S. Well, 16 years ago, we had two of my friends and their mother living with us while they went through a divorce. I was 15, and my friends were 14 and 16. I was away at another friend's house one night. When I came back the following day, my mom told me she had kicked them out because S tried to make a move on my dad. She absolutely slandered that poor girl's name. When I got into my 20s, it still sat in the back of my mind. I just knew I didn't get the truth. So I reached out to S, who was also now in her 20s. We met up and I got the true story. I could see the pain in her eyes. She said she'd been in therapy for years because of my father, that he did it in such a loving way, it really fucked her up. She told me they'd been drinking on the property, then went skinny dipping, all while my mother was in bed pregnant with my sister. They made their way into the house and upstairs, where eventually my mother walked in on them. I let her know I had her back if she ever decided to do anything about it. I am now in my 30s and recently became a mother, and it's all I've been able to think about. They still don't know that I know the truth. It's reawakened the rage in me, especially all of the teenage rage they made me shove down for so long. Because if anyone did that to my daughter, or if I caught my husband in that situation, hell no. It was easy to shove down before, because I learned from the best, my parents. But becoming a mother, especially to a daughter, I've never wanted someone to pay for something they've done so bad. I feel like if I brought it up to my mom, she would just get angry and talk shit. She'd probably say, the past is the past, and I need to let it go. But I know he hasn't changed due to events over the recent years with his anger and control issues. He's a very big narcissist who believes he can do no wrong whatsoever, and my mother is so far up his ass. It makes me wonder if S was his only victim. If she was, and if he's never done it again, would that be okay? Is this forgivable? Because I don't feel like it is. I want to tell the whole family, but I feel like they just downplay it and make me seem crazy, cut me off, and turn my siblings against me. They've done it before when I called them out on other things. So, here I am, just needing to get it out, I guess. What would you do? The day I placed my large feces under my parents' bed, I was 5 or 6 years old, and I had just gotten home from school. When I got home from school, I liked to hop on my parents' Samsung tablet and play Minecraft. But today, my mom didn't allow me to because I hadn't done my chores. So, as any normal response, I completely lost my shit and stormed off to my room. Within my room, I was thinking on how I could get my revenge when I needed to go to the toilet to take a fat dump. On the toilet, I had an idea, so I covered my hand in toilet paper and put it under my ass and tried to catch my poop, but it was too sloppy the first time. So I had to wait till tomorrow. So the next day, because I was 5 years old, I came home from school, dehydrated as hell, and sat on the toilet trying to force a shit out of me. I think I sat on the toilet for an hour or so before I finally felt a turd sliding out of my butt. I cover my hand in toilet paper and caught the solid turd in it. I stand up and put it on the basin to wrap it up. I then poked some holes in the wrapping and walked it down to my parents' bed and hid it under some old magazines that my parents had under the bed. I kid you not, they didn't find it for weeks, and it brought me great joy to know that my turd was stinking up their bedroom more and more every day. My parents got air fresheners and everything until after like a month they decided to look if something had died in their room. They look under their bed and move the old magazines to find my moldy poop. My mom screamed in horror as my dad rushed over, but they didn't suspect it was me. They ended up thinking it was one of my uncle's friends that was renovating our house at the time, which my dad fired, and I felt terrible because the poor man got told that he was fired for something I did. To this day, I haven't told anyone the truth to this story, and my parents never found out that it was I who placed the shit under their bed. I left a note on my boss's computer saying one of our coworkers was snorting Xanax in the bathroom. They got fired. I had this coworker who was hiding their drug addiction. They would go to the bathroom for 30 plus minutes and come back with their eyes dilated, acting weird, and would avoid ringing people out for hours. At the end of the night, their till would be missing a ton of money, or they would be overcharging people on their debit cards. A lot of people noticed their change in behavior after going to the bathroom, but no one knew why. I used to take Xanax for anxiety, so one day I went to the bathroom after this person did. I saw white powder on the sink, and they stupidly left a pill on the floor. I immediately recognized it and put two and two together. My boss, a few days before, was talking to the assistant shift manager about them and asked if they noticed any changes in their work and behavior. When no one was around, I wrote on a sticky note that I found Xanax in the bathroom and that they went before me. I taped the pill to the sticky note as well. Probably not smart, but he found the note 5 minutes after I put it there. He talked to them about what he was told, and they confessed that they were doing drugs in the bathroom. They were fired immediately. I felt bad because the company had resources for mental health and drug addiction. So I thought that's what would happen. But because they were doing it at work, my boss had to fire them. A year later, they came into work to purchase some things and told us that they went to rehab after being fired. They were 6 months sober and had a job where they were helping them with their recovery. They said that being fired was the cherry on top for them because their past 2 jobs also fired them for doing drugs at work. So it was a big wake-up call for them. They looked really good and happy. We were all proud. Still to this day, no one knows it was me that made that note. I often taste a drop of my urine when I go to the bathroom. Yeah, I, 25, male, don't know what's wrong with me. I don't particularly like the taste of urine. I just do it. I once read that people with diabetes have sweet pee, and I was curious. And since then, I just taste a drop after I'm trying to get the last bit out of my shaft. Anyway, turns out that every once in a while, my pee does taste sweet, especially today, after eating a lot of Christmas sweets. I don't know if I have diabetes and I have no symptoms other than this occasionally sweet-tasting pee. But I'm never going to go to a doctor and say my pee tastes sweet sometimes, because that's embarrassing and foul. I feel quite bad for doing it. I also have an issue with auto-cannibalism, which sounds way worse than what it is. I eat the hairs that fall out of my head, eyebrows, eyelashes, whatever. I also chew and eat my fingernails, and occasionally my toenails. I'll also eat scabs, boogers, blackheads, pimples, etc. So many confessions all in one place, and I feel disgusting and want to stop. I often ask myself, why do I keep tasting my pee? I don't drink it. It's just a drop, and it's not every time I pee. Usually once a day. But I don't want to do it anymore, and no one knows. Except you. I have been spending most of my days generating not safe for work AI photos while I should be working. I work from home, and lately I have been spending most of my day generating inappropriate, not safe for work AI images, and trying to find random guys to show them off to and see if they can tell if they are real or not, and see if they are turned on by them. I'm not sure why I enjoy it so much, but when someone else gets turned on by them, it really turns me on, and I feel I might have an unhealthy addiction to this. Honestly, I'm even posting this, hoping some guys will see and message wanting to see some. My thoughts are consumed by this idea, and I can't concentrate on real life stuff